In the treasury of human wisdom, there is a classic saying from the ancients. Disaster emerges from the mouth, illness enters through the mouth. Speech, though merely invisible vibrations of sound, possesses an astonishing power to determine human destiny. There are words as gentle as a spring breeze, capable of reviving a withered soul. Yet there are also words as sharp as daggers, capable of causing wounds that bleed for a lifetime. In Buddhist teachings, cultivation does not begin from afar but originates right from each person's mouth, the place where right speech or speech karma is created. Preserving one's speech karma is not simply a matter of controlling utterances, but a profound inner journey to transform the arrogant ego into compassion and wisdom. This article will guide us through 5 important stages. From understanding the power of words and identifying common mistakes to practicing the art of loving speech and the mindfulness filter, finally reaching the ultimate destination, cultivating the mouth to accumulate merit and change the destiny of one's life. Let us step into the journey of mastering speech to master our own happiness. Part 1. The power of speech and the philosophy of speech karma. In the hurried flow of human life, people often preoccupy themselves with honing professional skills, accumulating knowledge, and grooming a splendid appearance, yet sometimes forget to cultivate the sharpest and most powerful weapon they possess: speech. The ancients had a saying, "Once a word is spoken, even a team of for horses cannot pull it back." This is not merely a warning about caution but an affirmation of the obvious truth that once words leave the lips, they create a flow of energy that cannot be retracted, directly shaping the destiny of the speaker and the life of the listener. Speech has no form and no physical weight, yet it carries the weight of 1,000 pounds, capable of building a paradise or destroying an entire world of the soul. According to Buddhist philosophy, a person's life is governed by the law of cause and effect through 3 main paths of creating karma: body actions, speech words, and mind thoughts. Among these, speech karma is considered the easiest to commit, but also the one that brings the quickest and most profound consequences. Cultivating the mouth is sometimes even more difficult than cultivating the body, because speech is the shortest bridge connecting the inner world and external reality. A cruel thought, if it remains only in the mind, has limited destructive power. But once spoken aloud, it becomes an arrow already shot, carrying the potential to wound and creating complex cycles of karmic force. The Buddha once taught that a person's mouth is like an axe residing within. When a foolish person speaks unwholesome words, they are using that axe to cut off their own blessings and merit. In reality, speech is a double-edged sword with 2 opposing poles, a healing medicine and a weapon of destruction. When guided by compassion and wisdom, speech becomes loving speech, a miraculous remedy capable of soothing pains that pierce to the bone. A sincere word of encouragement at the right time can save a life standing on the brink of despair, helping them rediscover light and the will to live. Recognition, a word of comfort, or a sincere apology are not just means of communication, but a form of wholesome energy that helps mend the fragments of a relationship. Modern science has also proven that positive words stimulate the brain to release happiness hormones such as oxytocin and dopamine, improving cardiovascular and nervous system health for both the speaker and the listener. This is a manifestation of immediate blessings, peace that arrives the very moment we utter something kind. However, on its dark side, speech is the most cruel weapon because it causes wounds that leave no trace on the flesh but leave permanent scars in the mind. A wound from a knife may heal over time, but a wound from cruel, sarcastic, or insulting words can bleed for an entire lifetime. Verbal violence often hides under the guise of frankness or concern, but in reality, it silently destroys an individual's self-esteem and confidence. In today's digital world, speech karma is further amplified through the keyboard, where malicious comments can lead to tragic tragedies. When we release bitter words, we not only sow seeds of hatred in the hearts of others, but also envelop ourselves in a layer of dark energy, chasing away noble patrons and peace from our lives. To preserve speech karma, we must recognize the dialectical relationship between mind and speech. Speech is essentially a mirror reflecting the soul. When the heart is full, the mouth speaks. A person whose inner self is filled with envy will sooner or later speak with the flavor of mockery. Conversely, a calm and compassionate soul will naturally emit gentle and noble words. Therefore, cultivating the mouth is essentially cultivating the mind. The process of turning the tongue 7 times before speaking is not pretension, but the creation of a mindful pause so that the mind can recognize and transform negative vibrations into constructive language. In lectures on ethics and cause and effect, cultivating the mouth is often seen as the fastest and most effective way to accumulate merit. No matter how many good deeds a person does or how many times they go to the temple, if their mouth still utters divisive, deceitful, or poisonous words, all that merit is like pouring water into a bottle with a broken bottom. It all drains away. Preserving speech karma does not mean forcing oneself into complete silence in every situation, but training so that speech always carries the fragrance of truth, necessity, and kindness. When we master our speech, we not only protect our own reputation and dignity, but also become a source of peaceful energy for society. Ending this opening section, we must remember that speech is an expression of human power. When speech is full of love and mindfulness, it becomes fragrant flowers offered to life, making this world less cold and more worth living in. Mastering the mouth is the first and most important step on the journey to mastering destiny and creating a life of peace and happiness. We have just understood the enormous power of speech, the energy that can create or destroy an entire destiny. However, to master that power, we must first have the courage to look directly at the dark areas we often unintentionally stumble into. So, what are the black holes of words that cause our blessings to leak every day? Let us join Heartful Mind Life in Part 2 to identify the 4 types of evil karma from speech that anyone can fall into. Part 2. Identifying the 4 types of evil karma from speech. If understanding the power of speech gives us an overview of the importance of speech karma, then clearly identifying the 4 types of evil karma of the mouth is the most practical step toward purifying the body and mind. In Buddhist teachings, humans easily fall into 4 black holes of language: false speech, lying; frivolous speech, embellishing words, divisive speech; double-tongued words; and harsh speech, cruel words. Understanding the nature of these behaviors not only helps us avoid mistakes, but is also the key to preventing the leakage of our own merit. The first and most common type of evil karma is false speech, also known as lying. False speech is the act of distorting the truth, turning nothing into something, or covering up wrongdoings for the purpose of profit or protecting the personal ego. In psychology, lying is often an instinctive defense mechanism, but in terms of karmic force, it causes a severe erosion of trust. One lie often requires hundreds of other lies to justify it, creating a psychological burden that weighs heavily on the speaker. Trust between people is inherently as fragile as crystal. Once cracked by deceit, no matter how it is mended, it can hardly return to its original state. Those who commit the karma of false speech will gradually lose their reputation. Their voice will no longer carry weight, and they will always live in anxiety for fear of being exposed. Alongside deceit is frivolous speech, which refers to embellished, flowery, but hollow words. Frivolous speech often appears in the form of flattery, exaggerating the truth to gain attention, or vain flirtations that enchant the heart. In the digital age, frivolous speech also mutates into unfounded, sensationalist news on social media. Many people mistake this type of language for being harmless because it sounds sweet, but in reality, it dissipates the energy of both the speaker and the listener, making the human mind drift away from reality and sink into meaningless illusions. Those accustomed to embellishing stories will gradually lose their sincerity, causing relationships to become superficial and lacking deep connection. Even more toxic is divisive speech, meaning double-tongued words intended to divide and cause hatred. This is the behavior of going to one person to speak ill of another and vice versa, with the aim of destroying the harmony of a group or a relationship. The motive behind double-tongued words is usually envy and an inferiority complex. When they cannot lift themselves up, people tend to use words to pull others down. Divisive speech is considered one of the heaviest karmas because it directly breaks the foundational unity of all happiness and success. Those who often speak with a double tongue will suffer the retribution of loneliness, because once their nature is recognized, no one will dare to place trust or offer sincere feelings to them. Finally, there is harsh speech, the most direct weapon of words. Harsh speech is the use of vulgar language, swearing, insulting, or using bitterness to humiliate others. This type of karma often erupts most strongly during fits of anger, when reason is clouded by negative emotions. Words like daggers to the heart can leave soul scars that last for decades, especially when they are uttered from the mouths of loved ones. Harsh speech not only causes suffering for the listener, but also causes the speaker to always live in a state of conflict and violence. Those who frequently use harsh speech will find their life path full of scandal and obstacles, because they themselves have sown seeds of hatred into their living environment. These 4 types of evil karma usually do not exist independently but intertwine and interact with one another. A person who lies often has to embellish to increase persuasiveness. An envious person often uses double-tongued words to divide and then ends with harsh words to attack. Their combination creates a negative magnetic field, significantly reducing a person's fortune. According to the philosophy of cause and effect, the mouth is the gateway to blessings and wealth. If that gateway is full of trash and filth, then all good things, even if they come, will quickly leave. Identifying these 4 types of evil karma is not for us to self-flagellate or despair, but for us to begin the process of awakening. When we understand that every word spoken has its own sovereignty and consequences, we will learn to be more cautious. Instead of lying, practice skillful honesty. Instead of embellishing, speak words of value. Instead of dividing, use words of harmony. And instead of harsh speech, practice loving speech. This transformation is an important turning point that helps us protect our blessings and create a better future from the very simple sounds emitted every day. Identifying the 4 types of evil karma: lying, embellishing, double-tongued, and cruel speech is a great step forward on the path of awakening. However, ceasing to do evil is only half the journey. For life to truly bloom, we need to sow new seeds, sweeter and more healing. Right now, I invite you to step into part 3, where we will explore the art of loving speech, the golden key to restoring every connection and watering love into every word. Part 3, the art of loving speech, the key to connection. If identifying the 4 evil karmas of speech is the process of pulling weeds in the garden of the soul, then practicing loving speech is the stage of sowing fragrant flowers. In Buddhist philosophy, loving speech is not merely a clever communication skill or social sweet talk. It is a noble form of energy generated from the intersection of wisdom and compassion. A word is considered loving speech when it carries the intention to bring joy, comfort, and the ability to heal the deepest brokenness in the human heart. The true essence of loving speech lies in empathy. To have words of love, we must first possess the ability of deep listening. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once emphasized that listening with compassion can help relieve the suffering of others. Most of us in daily life listen only to wait for an opportunity to respond or judge, rather than listening to truly understand the thoughts, pains, or desires of the other person. When we devote our full mindful presence to listening with our whole heart, our silence at that moment is already a miraculous form of loving speech. Only when the other person feels truly heard and respected will they remove their defensive armor, allowing our kind words to go straight into their soul like cool streams of water, nourishing a parched land. In the art of loving speech communication, transforming negative language is a decisive challenge. Instead of using criticism or judgments that hurt the self-esteem of others, the practitioner of loving speech knows how to express their feelings and observations sincerely but without aggression. Instead of using absolute statements like, "You always do it wrong," we learn to talk about personal feelings. "I feel worried when things happen like this," Loving speech teaches us how to provide feedback with a constructive mindset, starting with acknowledging the efforts of the other person before pointing out areas for improvement. The power of sincere encouragement can become a great lever, helping a person who has lost their way find the confidence to change themselves. Loving speech is particularly important in the key relationships of life, starting with the family. There is a sad reality that people often reserve politeness for strangers but release the most bitter words for their loved ones. Because we assume that family members will always be tolerant, we allow ourselves to loosen our speech karma. However, the family is the place that needs to be nurtured by loving speech the most. Simple phrases like, "Thank you for working so hard," "I always believe in you," or a sincere apology from parents to children are the glue that binds more strongly than any material value. In the work environment, a leader who knows how to use loving speech will gather people's hearts through respect rather than autocratic authority, creating a working community based on mutual support and respect. The effectiveness of loving speech does not stop at the emotional level but also has the power to heal physiologically. Psychological science has proven that when receiving words carrying positive energy, the human body reduces the production of stress hormones and strengthens the immune system. Loving speech has the ability to dissolve hatred accumulated for years, revive hope for those in despair, and create a living environment full of peace. When we choose to speak words of love, we are not only saving others, but also purifying our own souls, helping ourselves become a center of peaceful energy. To practice loving speech sustainably in a world full of criticism and scandal, we need to train the habit of watering good seeds every day. Start the morning with the vow to speak only words that bring harmony and end the day by observing your communications. When our speech becomes pure and full of love, like lotus flowers, we will realize that the world suddenly becomes much more gentle and lovely. Loving speech is the golden key that opens the door to the heart, the most stable bridge connecting distances, and the most brilliant evidence of a soul that has reached full awakening and compassion. Loving speech is beautiful and noble, but how do we maintain that gentleness when anger flares up, or when life is full of unfair pressures? Between theory and reality, there is always a need for a bridge of practice. In Part 4, Heartful Mind Life will share with you a very powerful practice. Secret: the 3-question filter and the 3-second pause, tools to help you master your mouth even in the most challenging moments. Part 4, the 3-question filter, practicing mindfulness in communication. The journey of cultivating speech karma does not stop at understanding compassion or identifying evil karmas. It requires a high degree of mindful practice in every moment of life. The greatest challenge for a human is not to speak beautiful words when calm, but to maintain gentleness when faced with provocation, pressure, or outbursts of anger. To master the mouth, which is considered the gateway of disaster and fortune, sages have summarized a golden rule called the 3-question filter. This is an internal control system requiring every word to pass through 3 strict gates before escaping the lips. Is this word true? Is it necessary? And is it kind? The first gate requires absolute honesty. Is this word true? In an era of information explosion and chaotic scandals, we often tend to repeat things we hear without verification or add speculative details to make the story more dramatic. Truth is the only foundation that creates lasting reputation and trust. A word, though it may sound sweet, if lacking truth, is merely a sophisticated deception that will sooner or later lead to collapse. Practicing this gate means we must learn to face reality, speaking only what we know for certain and courageously admitting what we are unsure of. Honesty in words is the expression of an upright and transparent soul. The second gate helps us refine frivolity. Is it necessary? There are truths, even if 100% true, that if spoken only to satisfy arrogance, to humiliate others, or to stir up unnecessary pain, are redundant words. Many of us make the mistake of talking too much, talking persistently about useless things, dissipating our own energy and causing annoyance to the surrounding environment. This filter reminds us of the value of golden silence. If a word does not help solve a problem, does not provide knowledge, value, or joy to the listener, then keeping silent is a noble act of cultivation. Speaking less but with quality, speaking at the right time and in the right place is the mark of a wise person. The final and most important gate, acting as the soul of loving speech. Is it kind? This is when we must reflect on our deepest inner motives. A word may be the truth, may be necessary for feedback, but if it is uttered with a sarcastic, hostile tone or intended to bring the opponent down, then that word has lost its wholesomeness. Kindness in words does not equate to weakness or covering up evil. It is the way of expressing the truth with a constructive and respectful attitude. Instead of using words as sharp as razors, a kind person chooses to use words to open a way for others to correct their mistakes. Before speaking, put yourself in the listener's shoes to feel, if I received this word, would I feel hurt or more motivated to be better? For this 3-question filter to work effectively, we need to train an extremely important supporting skill, the 3-second pause. By instinct, humans often react to stimuli instantaneously, scolding back when scolded, arguing back when criticized. The 3-second pause is the moment we detach ourselves from that instinct so that wisdom can intervene in time. In those 3 seconds of deep breathing, the 3-question filter will be activated, helping us transform an impulsive reaction into a cultured and mindful response. This brief pause is the thin boundary between a person who is a slave to emotions and a person who masters their own destiny. Consistently applying the 3-question filter to daily communication brings enormous benefits. It not only helps us avoid unnecessary troubles and scandals, but also builds a calm, reliable personal image. When we speak only what is true, necessary, and kind, our words will naturally carry weight, have the ability to move hearts, and create high consensus. Furthermore, this practice helps our minds become purer, no longer having to regret or agonize over slips of the tongue in moments of anger. In short, the 3-question filter does not make our lives constrained. On the contrary, it brings true freedom, the freedom of a person who knows how to select the essence to offer to life through every word and phrase. When you have the 3-question filter in your hand, you have begun to master every beat of words in daily communication. But do you know that each of those mindful words is silently building the castle of your destiny in the future? Cultivating the mouth is not just for better communication, but to accumulate merit and completely transform the trajectory of life. We will go together to the final part of today's journey, cultivating the mouth to accumulate merit, where you will see how words can miraculously change your destiny. Part 5. Cultivating the mouth to accumulate merit, changing destiny through words. The ancients once taught, having a heart but no appearance. Appearance is born from the heart. Having an appearance but no heart, appearance is destroyed by the heart. However, in the operation of cause and effect, there is a factor just as direct and powerful as thoughts in shaping a person's face and destiny, and that is speech. Cultivating and preserving speech karma is not merely a moral standard, but a profound method of changing destiny. When a person knows how to master their mouth, they are truly steering the ship of life, turning from the storms of scandal toward the harbor of blessings and peace. The connection between speech, karma, and destiny originates from the circulation of energy. In the concept of self-feng shui, the mouth is the gateway of blessings and wealth. A person who frequently emits words of resentment, complaining, or criticism will create a negative magnetic field around themselves, unintentionally chasing away noble patrons and good opportunities. Conversely, a person with good speech merit, who always speaks words of thanks, praise, and encouragement, will create a flow of positive energy, making the path of life smooth and favorable. A person's blessings are like a jar of silver. If the mouth is not guarded and continuously utters cruel, deceitful words, then the blessing energy will leak and dissipate entirely, no matter how hard that person works or how much they contribute. In the journey of cultivating the mouth to accumulate merit, the 2 most important keys to opening the door of destiny are apologies and thanks. A sincere apology is not weakness. but an expression of a courageous ego that knows how to recognize mistakes to cut the ties of karmic debts. A timely apology can dissolve 1,000 years of hatred, turning opponents into companions. Meanwhile, a word of thanks is the highest expression of gratitude, the most powerful energy frequency to attract abundance. When we say thank you to life and those around us, we are affirming our appreciation for the present, thereby creating the premise to receive even more blessings in the future. The greatest challenge of cultivating the mouth lies in how we face adversity and scandal. A person's strength lies not in whether they can scold back the one who insulted them, but in whether they can maintain mindful silence in the face of insults. The Buddha once taught that if someone brings a gift to give but we do not accept it, then the gift still belongs to the giver. Similarly, when we do not accept malicious words by responding with harsh speech, then that negative karmic flow will turn back to the person who emitted it. Silence in mindfulness before injustices is the most noble way to protect merit, helping us avoid being caught in the cycle of eternal hatred. To make preserving speech karma a living instinct, we need to practice wholesome speech through daily exercises. Could be making a vow every morning that we will only speak words that bring harmony, or spending a few minutes at the end of the day to reflect on our communications. Practicing praising others at least 3 times a day sincerely is also a way to purify the mind of envy, helping the mind always direct toward good things. Particularly, the lesson of learning how to be silent when angry, the count from 1 to 10 rule, or taking a sip of water, is the lifesaver so that we do not commit mistakes that cannot be remedied for a lifetime. The fruits of a life of cultivating and preserving speech karma are extremely brilliant and sweet. Those who maintain speech merit will see their appearance gradually become gentle, their voice become warm, and their self-authority increase daily. Toxic relationships will automatically drift away, to make room for wholesome and true friends. More importantly, the minds of those who know how to preserve their words will always achieve deep peace, no longer fearing being disliked or agonizing over lies. In the home, when all members use loving speech to treat one another, the house will truly become a paradise on earth, where love and understanding always reign. Closing the journey of exploring speech karma, we realize that cultivating the mouth is cultivating an entire human life. Speech is the most powerful tool that nature provides, and how to use it lies entirely in our hands. Do not let the mouth go before the head, and do not let bitter words wither the garden of merit that we have painstakingly cultivated. Every kind word uttered today is a wholesome seed sown into the land of life, so that later we will reap a bountiful harvest of happiness, respect, and a destiny radiant with the light of wisdom and love. Closing the journey of exploring the power and art of preserving speech karma, we realize that every word uttered is not just a means of communication, but a resume of character and a seed for our own future. Truth, necessity, and kindness, these 3 gates, though simple, are the great lessons we must practice for a lifetime to hope to reach proficiency. When we learn how to be silent before scandal, know how to use loving speech to soothe pain, and take honesty as the foundation for every relationship, that is when we are building for ourselves the sturdiest fortress of merit. Cultivating the mouth is essentially cultivating the heart, because words are only the fruit, while thoughts and emotions are the roots. When our hearts are full of love and mindfulness, words will naturally become fragrant, flowers offered to life. The journey of preserving speech karma may be full of times when we slip our tongue or moments of heat, but as long as we persistently observe and amend, our destiny will surely turn to a more brilliant new page. Remember, speech can be a medicine, it can also be a knife. Choosing to be a healing doctor or a knife wielder causing injury, the decision lies entirely in your mindfulness at this very moment. May you always keep the lotus in your speech, so that life every day becomes more peaceful and happy. Dear friend, the 5-part journey on speech karma closing is also the time when a new journey of practice in your real life begins. If the sharing from Heartful Mind Life brings you peace and motivation to change, please press subscribe so we can nurture our souls together every day. Don't forget to leave a comment sharing your experience, or simply a blessing for our community. Each of your likes and shares is the way we spread loving speech. Further, thank you for being here, and see you in the next journeys of mindfulness.